honest with you, that was provided to you is very approximate. There is no science to this. So the first thing I want to do is just quickly share with you that this is the reason I'm here today. This is my grandfather, Giovanni Tona, who came over on the boat to Ellis Island, and he was one of 4 siblings. So 3 of them remained in Sicily. And I just want to show you on the map where he came from. So we got this trusty map from the Automobile Association of Italy before we went over. And this is the bottom,
You have to come around.
closer,
Yeah.
bottom west, east corner of Italy. And there you go, order this. So he came from here in this part of Sicily, Modica. So you can thank him for hosting this demonstration. So we're going to start. I have 1 scotch in the oven that'll be coming out in a few minutes so you can see what we're going to make. So I'm going to start with the dough and then the ingredients. But just keep in mind that this isn't an exact science. So I asked my trusty assistant, Billy, to read the ingredients off to me so I can assemble the dough. And don't worry, we're not going to wait for it to rise. I have the dough all ready to go for when we're ready for putting, or ready for the assembly. So,
Ready?
yep.
Okay, 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour.
Okay, and this, I prefer to use unbleached flour, just so you know that what I'm working with is unbleached flour. You can use anything. You can use a mix of semolina, you can use the 00, whatever flour you have on hand. I don't think Scacce is fussy. That's 3.
Yeah.
Now I know my recipe says to let the yeast dissolve in the water, but excuse me, I want to check.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
I get it?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the end product. But I'm going to leave it in a little longer. Maybe just a little longer. Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe not. So I'm going to combine some
Up to 2 teaspoons of salt.
up to. I'm not a big salt person, so I'll do like a rounded teaspoon of salt. Because I'll sprinkle a little salt on later, and I don't think everything needs to have salt. I am going to put my yeast. This is just Fleischmann's fast-acting dry yeast. I'm just going to put it in the dough.
That's 1 rounded teaspoon of dry yeast.
Thank you. 1 rounded teaspoon of dry yeast.
Very good.
I'm just going to combine those up really, really. And I'm going to get me some warm water.
1 1/4 cups of warm water.
Okay. I'm going to make it warm up. And then we are going to use some oil.
2 tablespoons olive oil.
You want me to get some water for you?
It's coming.
Okay.
Thanks.
You couldn't have that ready ahead of time because then it wouldn't be warm.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You have all your ingredients lined up and ready.
This has got a little parsley in the water. It'll be okay. It's just dough.
There.
Just gonna mix it up
Is it-
really, really well.
Is it on?
It's here. It's here.
And add my olive
That's
oil.
yours.
2 tablespoons of olive oil.
But everybody else can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else doing this? Or is everybody just watching?
It's Trisha. I'm doing it.
Cool.
Anybody else? We made our dough earlier today.
Ah, okay, very good.
Free to ask questions or say what your experience.
Yeah, you can jump in or raise your hand or something if you want to ask a question as we go.
You won't need the cornmeal until later.
Correct. Cornmeal is for the peel and the pizza stone. I'll be using the pizza stone today, but you can use a cookie sheet.
We didn't.
I'll use parchment paper because I tend to bake it on a higher heat, and parchment doesn't like higher heats. It's okay at 350, 400.
What does this bake at?
I have this one in the oven at 425.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not an exact science, and I
Yeah.
apologize for that.
Mhm.
A lot depends on just how much time you have.
Oh.
Because at a higher temperature, it'll bake faster.
Yeah, we didn't use the cornmeal.
Not too late for this one. You want to go this way?
Camera's kind of facing it there. I have my camera facing.
Right.
How you doing with the dough, Trish?
Pitches.
Trisha,
I'm sorry, what was your question?
how are you doing with your dough?
Good. I have 1/4 spread out into, like you said, 12 by 14.
Okay. Oh, you're way ahead of us.
Here's my other dough. Oopsie.
Oh, you made it ahead like Laura did. Laura made hers.
Yes.
You made yours ahead too. Oh, okay.
Yep, so it grows and everything.
Ah, okay. She's ready to
Yep.
rock and roll.
I'm ready to go.
All
I
right.
can concentrate
Okay.
on Theresa. This is good.
Oh, there you go.
So this is one of my favorite things. I gotta tell you, the feeling of like a nice fresh dough, it just feels so nice. I realized it last night when I was making last night's batch of dough.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like you're one with dough.
iPad on you.
Camera shot. When it comes to the kitchen, this is like my laboratory.
Laboratory.
Yeah. So in the recipe, I noticed one error had to do with the baking temperatures. And honestly, I really do better with another set of eyes. So if anybody else notices any errors or needs something clarified, we'll revise this recipe and send it back out to everybody.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do this for about 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So what was the error? I can mark up my sheet.
Okay, you see where the baking temperatures and times are?
Mm-hmm.
It should be 350 degrees instead of 50 degrees.
I think I figured that one out.
I don't want to take anything for granted.
Right, that's
Yeah.
Theresa, you're like a mother-in-law. You always leave one ingredient out.
You know what? I had to do this, so I don't even pay attention.
Thing on a fix.
And this
I
particular
was down here, down the
scotch,
last one.
this particular scotch is really a seasonal dish. We originally had this planned for mid-September,
Yeah, a while back, yeah.
and we had to postpone it because we had a death to tend to. So mid-September is tomato and parsley season. But it can be made anytime with any variety of ingredients that you like. I think I listed some of the variations. And one of my favorites is the ricotta and the black cured olives with a little bit of fresh basil in there.
Wow. Wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything you put on a pizza, you can put in a scotch. And I do not know what the word means. Honestly, I don't. There.
She's there. Joan.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I have no idea.
Oh, she's looking it up. Okay, thank you.
And if it's a Sicilian word, we'll never know. I have an idea it might be Sicilian.
It probably, I would think probably, right? If it's a Sicilian dish,
There's gotta
right?
be- Yeah, but, yeah, I don't really know. I've seen others made with other ingredients.
Mhm.
Scacchetti, I've seen them called different variations of the word.
Mhm.
Growing up, my mother would say she was making scotcha, and I would ask her how you spell that, and she didn't even know how to spell it.
Oh, wow.
So I always pictured it spelled Skatcha, and I'm thinking it's Italian.
Aw.
So oddly enough, when we were in Ragusa 5 years ago, we went into a bookstore and I picked up a cookbook and opened it up, and there it was. And I knew how it's spelled.
And so was that recipe that it was an Italian book, correct? I mean, it was like in Italian, right?
That particular one was in English because
Really?
I bought it and gave it to my sister.
Oh, okay. And so how was that recipe compared to what you know?
It's very similar. I have a snapshot of it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But you can do this with pretty much any dough. My mother used to buy frozen loaves of dough.
Uh-huh.
I think it was Tony's, it was called back in the day. And she would just let that thaw out and use it because I don't ever remember my mom using yeast.
And so what are you feeling for there? You're kneading and kneading. So what are you feeling? What does it feel like? You know what I mean?
Do you remember when we made the pasta?
Yes.
And how it was pillowy?
Yeah, okay.
It's pillowy.
It's pillowy. Okay, there's
It's like a marshmallow. Like not the stuff in the jar.
I didn't say it in Italian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your scientific bakery term for it?
I have to look it up.
Pillowy?
It's funny. I don't know how it's this
Because
way.
you're adding more. You're like putting more in and more. Like, so what does it feel that you're adding more?
Well, right now it's not sticking to the surface.
Right, okay.
Which is a big plus. So you don't want to do that's tacky.
Right.
That's going to stick. I mean, it is tacky to my hands.
Right. But it's not sticking to the count,
Yeah, to the countertop.
to counter.
But my cousin Maria, who lives in Sampieri, she uses a harder dough. So I think she uses less yeast, probably less water and more flour.
Okay.
And her dough is harder. So it's a thinner dough. This is more of a bready dough. Do
Okay.
you want to bring that one over? All right. I think this one has been kneaded enough. 6 to 8 minutes, and you'll get the feel of it, and then you'll know what you're looking for. So that's
Mary made a comment that if it gets too sticky, add dough to your hand, flour to your hands.
Oh, if it gets too sticky, do you recommend adding flour to your hands or what?
sure.
So it shouldn't stick to your hands, correct? I mean,
Right.
then
My
you
hands
know.
are pretty clean.
There it is. Bill's got,
Can you see that?
yes, you can. Yeah, Bill's got it in close there.
She's in Ohio, Dr. Mary Coach.
Little.
She's
All right.
under education.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're making here.
So I'm just oiling the bowl. I'm going to put this dough in. And let that one just rest. Actually, I'll put it in the refrigerator overnight and make something with it tomorrow. I've been doing a lot of experimenting with doughs lately. So, half of the dough, Trish, instead of cutting it into 4, I cut this one in half. But when you make smaller ones, you can make them all different. And I think I mentioned in the recipe that it's a really great way to use leftovers.
Two sinks.
Yeah, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, whatever we're happy with.
Mm-hmm.
This is the dough that I made last night, and it's been resting all day. I'm beating it up now. So I'm just gonna roll it out. anybody have any questions so far? Okay.
Good. I was just doing that so you could see them here.
Yeah.
The snow's gonna fight with me. It didn't fight with me earlier today. So it's very elastic.
Hey, Teresa, I'm gonna make the parsley and tomato, and I might throw some turkey sausage in there, but I'm also gonna make the other two salami and provolone. I saw that variation you put in there, so I thought, ooh, that sounds good.
It is. The only caution I'm gonna throw out to everybody is if you overfill it, it gets too heavy and it doesn't bake evenly.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind. You don't want to put too much in. So again, it becomes a little bit of an experiment on how much to put in.
Right. That was a question that had come through, that if you were to anticipate an issue, what is or someone might, new making this would be. So that would be it, is putting overfilling it.
Overfilling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the recipe that I provided said 1.5 cups of parsley and 1.5 cups of tomato. And when I made the first one that you saw, I added another handful of tomato. Because
But
it just
more or
didn't look
less.
like,
Oh, okay. But more or less.
more or less.
So, Teresa, one question. I know you said you split your dough in half, so you're doing 1.5 cup of tomato for each half, or
Actually,
divide
I did 1.5 cup of tomato on each half.
in each half? Okay.
So what are you making on this one? What?
I'm gonna do tomato and parsley here.
Okay, so we can get, yeah, so we can get it, we'll be able to see about how much she's putting in. Okay, that's great, actually, yeah.
So the flip side of too much is not enough. You don't want it to be very dry,
Okay,
but you can always,
Basta.
yeah,
enough, just enough.
Basta.
you can
Just
always,
enough. Just enough.
you can always dip it. Or use it in a
That's true,
different way.
dip in sauce or something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, nothing goes to waste.
Right.
So I don't know what the measurements are on this, to be honest with you. I'm gonna try to get these edges out here.
What size are you looking for here?
One that sits on the pizza stone,
Okay, so whatever size your pizza stone is, or whatever.
or whatever.
12 inches or something
14
like that,
or 16,
14,
something
there you
like
go.
Cookie sheet size. I'm sorry, I wish I.
No, that's good, this is,
The one that's already made is about 12 inches.
okay,
12.
it's about, okay.
You gotta remember, I was watching, my mother wasn't talking. She was just doing.
She was just doing.
Yeah, and there was no recipe.
Uh-huh.
But then I guess, you can do it until you get what you like.
That's nice.
And I guess that's one of the nice things, because how many times have you followed a recipe? Not quite the way you thought it would?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's a pretty decent size. And if you can get a rectangular shape, that's fine. But you don't need it.
So you're just shaping it according to your hand, like you could use more of a rectangle type shape and not round, or what do you
Yeah.
think?
Sure, because the final,
You can, do this.
Make it more square.
the final product is, rectangular.
It is kind of rectangular.
Right?
Okay,
This one is 12 inches,
right?
this,
Mm-hmm.
end to end.
Okay.
But I don't sweat it.
No, don't sweat.
I
No,
don't sweat it.
Don't sweat it.
Okay.
Don't sweat it.
This is not about sweating it.
You make another one next.
She made karaoke.
Measure these out. These are tomatoes that I cut up earlier, and I might have to cut up a few more.
So I see you have a lot of juice there, though. You're not worried about that.
Well, a lot of juices at the
Yeah,
bottom.
true, but you're not like really working to keep it out either. You know what I mean?
I don't want too much juice because we don't want it to get soggy and
Okay.
heavy.
Right. So a
Yeah.
little bit of juice is okay.
If it looks like it's gonna be too dry, drizzle a little olive oil on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the saving grace of it all, right?
Right. I'm just trying to like see what problems could,
So this
what we're
is,
looking for.
this is 2 cups of
Yeah.
tomatoes.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't need to cut up anymore. When I cut them, I take the core out of the middle and I cut it, I don't know if you can see, about, yeah. So you can see about the sides of the, yeah, how coarse or fine
They're like diced, I would say.
dice, but not large dice.
Okay. Mhm.
And the parsley is pretty coarse. I'll let some of the younger, the thinner, tender stems in,
Mhm.
but I don't go down to the thicker stems.
Okay.
And I'm not measuring my parsley.
Good.
You're not measuring your parsley. Maybe
Yeah.
a good handful or something like that.
Yeah, because I do it by sight.
Okay.
And I'll measure, let's see. I know I have another measurement here. I'll cut more. I probably will cut more because that's
Really?
definitely not a lot.
So maybe equal parts because you're already up in 3/4 or something. Or, yeah, so maybe like equal parts of tomato and parsley.
I'm a sight person.
I'm just guesstimating. I'm looking at what you have already.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm
Measure.
gonna get a full 2 cups of parsley out of this.
According to the recipe, it's equal parts,
Ah, okay.
roughly equal parts tomato and parsley. Yes.
It is.
Roughly, okay.
That's what the recipe says.
So a little guesstimate.
I was trying to,
Okay.
I'm a very visual person. Not an engineer.
Just like pepperoni bread or something.
Yeah.
Just crack it.
Whatever you want.
Hmm.
Some of the
So as I'm
recipes I
taking the
looked at, they said
parsley,
up to 600
I'm pulling off the
degrees to make it,
smaller,
which
the
you can
lower
get.
leaves and bringing them up to the upper leaves. So it's all close at the top. You probably do this. And just gonna cut my fingers off.
We talked about that. No cutting off your fingers.
Well, we do have doctor online, here, just in case.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
These are what's left of the stems.
Right.
Done.
Okay, very good. Mhm.
So,
Perfect.
and of course, I love parsley, so forgive me. I really do. Okay, so tomatoes are going on. Again, it's not perfect, but it's going to be just fine. Now, again, I'm not pouring, because
Right.
I don't want to pour the juice out.
Okay. Okay. Pretty generous amount of tomatoes, I would say.
It is a good amount of tomatoes,
Mhm.
and I think I'm going to use the entire 2 cups.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
So I will definitely revise this recipe for everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Tilt it up.
So it looks, wet, but not soggy. I would
Not
say.
soggy. Yeah. They're tomatoes.
Right.
And in the
Okay.
summer, when it's tomato season.
Yeah, they're probably, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Look at the beautiful colors of the Italian flag. It's true, it's true.
So it is a generous amount. I mean, it's pretty good.
It is. It is.
It's yeah.
You'd be surprised, that much parsley. I was really skeptical,
Mhm.
watching my mother do this.
Wow. Yeah.
And there was a long period of time that I did not eat this because I did not like tomatoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad you converted.
Part of the reason, I'm going to tell you this, my father, we had just a little backyard
Mhm.
and he would squeeze in garden wherever he could. So he had his 10 tomato plants When I was little, I was the one that had to go out and pick the first tomato. The first
yeah.
ripe tomato.
Mhm.
And he always had to get a picture of it.
Aw.
And I just shied from that because he always wanted to take pictures.
Don't forget your salt and pepper.
Okay, so a little bit of salt, masala, and pepper.
Is that Cecil?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Mediterranean sea salt. It's funny because I was looking at where I bought this. I bought this at Ross.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's not a specialty shop pizza or salt at all.
Yeah.
Pepper.
Mhm.
I like peppers. I like tendon. Do like pepper.
Okay, and so our folks that are cooking along, what are you putting on yours?
We are doing the ricotta and olive and garlic variation.
Wow.
Very good.
That's a good one, definitely. Definitely do that.
And Trisha?
I figured I better just follow Teresa for this first one. So I'm doing
Okay.
the parsley and tomato as well.
Okay.
I am just going to drizzle a smidgen of olive oil on here.
Oh,
This side. So I'm going to take a little bit of juice that's left in the cup here, and I'm just going to dab the edges so they seal.
That's a good idea to use the tomato. Like it's just like for flavor,
Flavor, yeah, use
instead
flavor
of just
rather-
using
rather than
water.
Just use something with flavor.
Yeah. Just
Always a
like
good
a
thing.
simple tip that's really great.
That really works for any kind of cooking.
Yeah.
Add
It's like
flavor.
using pasta water.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Add flavor rather than just one.
Just one.
Okay, so here comes the fun part.
Yeah, you don't waste any of that.
Yeah. That's like to take it out to the edges.
Mhm.
But you don't have to. Because it will, when it cooks, the juices will seep out. If it's really juicy, depending on what your filling is. Like parsley or whatever.
So I noticed like you didn't put any like garlic or things like that in there.
I always thought of this as peasant food.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very simple,
Yeah.
very simple.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna fold it in thirds. Oh, I should have done it on the peel, but we'll get it. I just don't want it to stick, because it does. Fold it over,
Nicely done.
We're good.
and see it's not square, it's fine, it's
Mhm.
perfectly.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Isn't that
Yes.
pretty?
Mhm.
So, one of the things that I've seen done in Italy is they take the end and they just kind of they crimp it in a sense. I'm not very good at it, but it seals the end.
To seal it. Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Let's stretch this out. Dough it's like working with Play-Doh. So, and then you can stretch it a little bit. There it is. I don't poke any holes in it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Open, again, it's not perfect. Do what you wish. I'm going to grab this. If I can get it on there without dropping
You
anything.
need any help with that?
Maybe, open the oven.
I'll do that.
So this is my pizza peel. I coat it with cornmeal, like bakeries do when they make bread, to keep it from sticking.
Mhm.
You get it up here. I should have rolled it out and put it on here and then put the topping on to make it a lot easier. If you have a cookie sheet that does not have sides, that works easily too, because then you can slide it. Any questions so far?
Any questions? Are we good?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, going in the oven. Put some cornmeal on the stone. cornmeal burns, so it smells like burn in here. Can you smell it? Yeah. I just keep a little cheese, a little
Cheesecake
shaker
of cornmeal.
cornmeal.
That's awesome.
And this one's going in diagonally because it's a
It'll
little
fit on the
too
stone
long.
that way.
Oh, it'll- Thank you.
Timer?
I'm gonna set this for 20 minutes. It'll probably go past our allotted time or time that we have for tonight, but we have another one. We're gonna cut open. Put this in the oven, right about when Bernie got here. We'll start setting up. Do you want to do the honor? So my mother cut it.
Diagonal.
Looks like
Very beautiful.
Italian.
Yes.
And she always cut it in thin slits. Ugh. This one maybe was too thin. Sometimes it's easier to use a pizza cutter. This one's pretty full. See how it's blurting out the end.
Yeah, but not in a terrible way.
Maybe I should have let it rest a little longer, but it might be just because it's too wet.
No, I think it's,
It might be too wet. But with the tomatoes, the seeds go in, just the core cut out a little bit.
it looks delicious. Yeah.
That looks good right there, doesn't it?
That's.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it does.
when this cools down, you can wrap it up and put it in the freezer. You can cut it and put it in cut pieces. It's a great quick dinner, quick lunch, goes great with some soup. And you can make
Do we have a comment?
3 of these and put them in the freezer for when company comes over.
Your mom does that, does what, puts it in the
Pinch.
freezer
I think
or pinches
pinches.
the end?
Yeah.
Pinches the end?
My mother
Ah,
did
okay.
not.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies in Italy, I see do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
another shape I see. They'll take the dough and it's round and they'll fill it on half. They flip it over and then they pinch it this way in a half circle.
Mhm.
They call it an empanada.
Oh. Mhm. Oh, okay. Mhm.
Yeah. I've also seen it done where it gets folded into thirds and then thirds again,
Oh, really?
the other direction.
Mhm.
So it's taller.
So, yeah, more delicate. Yeah.
They're baking in those fabulous brick fire ovens,
Yeah.
which God, I would drool to have one of those.
Well, Bernie was saying that his daughter has
Granddaughter, yeah.
his granddaughter has, like for outside, a brick fireplace where you can cook outside. And the ovens there get very hot. Move it in a little closer.
Yeah, look at that.
Closer, a little closer, a little closer. Yep. There you go. So that's the outside, the fire pit, the fireplace, wood burning fireplace. Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
I never think the corner of our garage would be a great location.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
So how are our bakers come? Oh, wait, we have one.
Let's see.
Laura.
Looking good, Laura.
Ours came out of we have our first one came out of the oven.
Oh, yeah, it looks good.
Lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Laura, did you use a spoon or a cooking sheet?
Did we what?
Did you use a spoon, a baking spoon, or a cooking sheet?
Cookie sheet.
Okay, and so just a light color.
Yeah. We preheated the oven with the cookie sheet in there and then just put this on top and let it go.
Yeah,
It took It took about 25 minutes at 400.
Did the,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
did the underside get nice and brown?
Gas stove, which is less consistent.
Wait,
Yeah.
He's asking questions, but it's hard to, your audio isn't great, Brandy, so I'm having a hard time hearing what you're asking.
I'm just wondering if the underside got nice and brown on the cookie sheet,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the underside looks good.
right?
Awesome. That's exciting. That's exciting.
That's a nice color.
So Tricia, how's yours coming along?
Okay, I just put in the tomato and parsley one, and I used a stone, and it's in a 400 oven, and I guess I'll check it in 25 minutes. But I'm going to work on the provolone salami one right
Okay.
now, so I'll put in the next one when that's done. But no, I didn't cook it ahead of time or anything.
Oh, okay.
Are
Okay.
you using hard salami?
Salami or hard?
Yeah.
Yes, it is hard salami. Is that correct? We're good to use
It's whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's right.
whatever I want. Okay, that's what Brian had, so that's what we got.
Okay.
And I just used provolone slices because I figured, I could just tear them up or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Would you recommend chopping up the salami or just putting whole ones in there or what? And cheese?
Get away with slices.
Okay.
Yeah, just have
Okay.
it nice. To cut it when you do.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Theresa, do you think it tastes better with the trifold, that there's that bread that's in the middle? Or do you think it tastes better when there's just the top bread and the bottom bread?
Taste. Well, let's put it this way. This is the way I grew up with it.
Mm.
If you want to do it differently, there's no stopping you at all. Your kitchen is your domain, Brandy. Yeah, because when they make the empanadas, they don't make the trifold, and then when they do it, I don't know what they call it, they're still calling it scacce. When they fold it one direction and then another direction, that's more bread in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people just like it drier than others.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing that I have found is, a lot of people shy away from these doughy foods because of the carbs. And carbs aren't the problem, it's just the time of day that we eat them. That's really the problem. If we eat breads earlier in the day, we're going to burn it. I mean, because the carbs are what gives us the endurance to last throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dinners are usually a vegetable and an antipasta,
Mm-hmm.
your meat, cheese.
All that good stuff, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
You see a lot of pasta. People, I guess it's just, today it's different. We're Americans, we're not there.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is all delicious stuff. This is, right. We're not going to shy away from this at all.
No.
No. Right. It's so funny. But it all looks really good. Everybody's looks really delicious. I can't believe that that ricotta
Oh,
looks,
yeah.
looks
Yeah,
that one
with
looks
the
really,
olives.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's fabulous. Mm-hmm.
Is it yours?
The ricotta with the olive.
I like the salami,
The salami sounds really good. That does sound really good.
provolone, or thin sliced mozzarella, or
Mhm.
sprinkle mozzarella.
Yeah. Mhm. Whatever
Use
you.
your
Whatever you love.
hard cheese.
Mhm.
You can use cheese in here instead of salt, like
Mhm.
Romano.
Yeah. It's kind of like a pizza where you can put whatever that you like in it, just like a pizza, whatever you like on it.
Capers go
Yeah.
really good with salami.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Theresa, I put together the salami and provolone. Does that look okay? Look, I don't know what I'm doing. I just put slices of provolone on top of the hard salami.
Yeah,
Can you see it?
I
Yeah,
can.
she's here.
Does that look like enough?
Can you
We're
move
good?
the phone out towards the edges a little more?
To the edges, she's saying.
Oh, pull it out towards the edges? Okay,
Yes. Mhm.
will do.
And maybe, the salami has some oils in it, so I don't know that it'll be too dry.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to think of what else might add to that, but Trisha, if this one doesn't tickle your fancy, do it again.
How do you like
Okay.
yours?
Hey, Trish, I heard on a cooking show one time, there are no mistakes in the kitchen.
That's right. We'll eat it. I'm sure it's going to taste delicious.
I'd be stopping by on my way home here, Trisha.
You know where I live, so you can.
So,
I'm glad you're enjoying this. Everyone's being very kind. We're glad you're having a good time.
Al, how's your?
Very good, Bernie. We're enjoying it. We're having it right now. Came out fine.
And what's in that one again?
That's the ricotta and olives.
Isn't that really good?
Yeah. Wow.
Judging by the look on their face, yes. It's very-
It's good with wine.
the wine doesn't hurt
Right,
either.
This is just such a cute little picture though,
Mhm.
honestly.
Mhm.
really beautiful. Yes, it looks great. So Teresa, you said you've been playing with dough a lot lately with different recipes. Would you say that this dough is more like bread dough or more like pizza calzone dough?
Well, I'm looking at the end here, and in the middle is a little more bready than the outside edges, which kind of surprises me because I thought the outer edges were thicker. But I think this is a little more bready than I personally like. I like thin crust pizza. So, but
Are we still on the mic?
We are.
Yeah.
Ours came out like thin crust pizza, actually.
Yeah.
Or like calzone. Or like calzone.
Yeah.
It's not bready.
Definitely not bread.
and I think too, the 00 flour might make a difference. Using less yeast. Experimental. But Brandy, what I've been doing lately is I've been putting the dough, I've been letting it rise, punch it down, let it rise, punch it down, put it in the refrigerator. Bring it out the next day, let it rise, it takes longer, let it rise, punch it down, put it back in the refrigerator. And then let it rise again, punch it down, let it rise, and then bake it. And I'll tell you what, you get some really great air pockets in there.
Wow.
It's amazing, the way it bubbles up and the dough gets really thin under a bubble. If you open up a bubble, you can see more bubbles inside. Yeah.
Wow.
This one sat in the refrigerator one night. But that's when I'm making bread, so I never really did that with the scotch.
I think it would be interesting to roll it.
That's probably contributing to this too. It's a little more eerie than I could. I'll eat it.
Mhm.
Yeah. The timer. 7 minutes. We'll see how this one might take long. Again, I think my upper oven isn't as true to temperature as the lower oven. I've been noticing. Yeah.
My wife used to always switch halfway with everything, cookies, anything. Yeah.
And turn the pans around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It had this one open earlier.
Wait for some of the others.
Cornmeal was burning on the stone, so
Okay.
I was like trying to,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So is there any other comments or questions or anything anybody wants to add?
Thank you. Very nice. We enjoyed it.
Something new. Completely different.
It is different.
Mhm.
And again, if you can make 2 of them at a time, you can make 4 small ones. You can roll it out as thin as you can get it or not.
Mhm.
But this is one of those, I guess, miracle foods.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it looks fabulous, really delicious. Wow.
I'm glad everybody, so.
Yeah.
Great.
We have one question here from a neighbor,
Okay.
Joyce.
Okay.
Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
Hey, how would something like marinated roasted red peppers or something like that? Would that be too wet?
I would have them dry.
Oh, there you go.
Or if you can, maybe like just squeeze them just a little bit through a strainer and then use that juice to moisten the edges.
Mm.
If you had it dry, that was probably bad. Because that's wasted juice.
Really?
Really, the tomatoes you had on there were wet. I mean, they weren't dry. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I think the roasted peppers would probably be good. I think that
Yeah.
might be okay.
You might even just cut thin strips and lay it across.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've
You
done
want to put it on top of cheese or put it on some salami or something. If you're going to put something else with it, just put it on top.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Good question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else have we done? Jeez.
Whatever we have.
Onions, mix the garlic in regatta
Mm.
and yeah,
Mhm.
it's just really like open the refrigerator and see what's in
See
there.
what's in there. Mhm. If you have a savory or a vegetable, more like vegetable one or something like
Yeah,
that.
if you're gonna use vegetables, I would cut them up pretty small
Mm-hmm.
because it'll poke through your dough.
Okay. Mhm.
That's one of the reasons why I don't use the heavier stems of the parsley because
Mhm.
it's already poked through the dough,
Right.
especially on the bottom.
Mhm.
Then then you're fighting with it to get it off the pan.
Right. But that's a good tip. See, if you're going to do
What-
vegetables, make things.
Are you
I'm sorry.
talking about vegetables, not
Yes.
cutting
Right. So if
into
you're going to make like a vegetable one or something, she said cut the vegetables small. Like the tomatoes were cut really small. You should cut them because then the stems, things like that, tend to poke through the dough. So you don't want that. So just cut them, just be smaller pieces.
Okay, thank you.
Depending on the vegetable too, you might want to maybe pre-cook a little bit.
Oh,
Like broccoli is pretty
Yeah.
thick.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you roasted or if you use frozen broccoli, that would be okay.
Okay.
Spinach,
Mhm.
any of the greens. Oh my goodness, now
Mhm.
you're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
The greens with salami and some ricotta,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Bernie. Yeah.
That's great. Mhm.
I've never made anything sweet like this before, but there's a nut roll that my mother used to make, but her dough had sugar in it. I have her recipe up there somewhere.
Mhm.
So I've not yet ever made, but love it.
Mhm.
Great.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
It's
Mhm.
wonderful.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
And folks, if you have a dish you'd like to prepare for the group or have a dish that you would like to see someone else prepare, please let us know and we'll see if we can get somebody. Al, I'm going to get a date from you on the lentil soup.
That's
right.
Yes.
We're
Give
very
you a
happy
call.
to do that. Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
awesome. Excellent. Thank you.
And Santo, I hope you're feeling better.
Hey,
Yeah.
Santo, your pickled eggplant would be really good.
Ah, we have a vote for Santo's pickled eggplant. He's talking. We can't hear you. You're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, pickled eggplant will be good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is more or less like a calzone.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kind of like a calzone,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
It is.
You know how the Italians, how many shapes do we have of pasta? How many shapes of bread?
Yeah. Any closing comments from any of the folks here?
Buonanotte, miei amici.
All right.
Grazie,
Again,
Teresa.
and we'll
Thank you,
look forward to
Teresa.
next time.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Buonasera.
Nice
Buonasera.
job.
Ciao.
Great job, Teresa.
Ryan. Hi, good night.
Buonasera a tutti.
Buonasera tutti.
Bernie, do you want to end this now?
Night,
You already left?
Oops, he's gone.
Okay, I'm gonna end the meeting.
Bye, George.
Bye, everybody.
See you, George.